All right. Good evening. This is the Audit Committee public meeting for Thursday, November the 10th. I would like to call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is supposed to do the land acknowledgement. Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, with the territories upon which our school boards and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, North America. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nations. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, learn, and live. Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest? Seeing none, just want to make a note that we have regrets from Chair Carolyn Morton and Amin. First on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as distributed? Thank you, Leslie. All in favor? Just hearing no opposed. The agenda is approved as distributed. The second is the approval of the September 21st, 2022 Audit Committee public meeting minutes. Can I have any errors or omissions first? Hearing or seeing none, can I have a motion to approve those minutes? Thank you, Leslie. All in favor? Okay. Then we're moving on to the final process of the 2021-22 financial statements. Associate Director Wright.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. Really happy to be joined by Melissa Durward and Tara Knight this evening, and I will turn it over to Melissa to begin the presentation of the report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and through you, Chair. Tonight's report can be found beginning on page 4 of the package. The purpose of the report this evening is to provide the Audit Committee with an overview of the financial process, as well as to present the 2021-2022 financial statements. In section 3 of the report, we outline the financial process, including the various layers of governance and oversight, as well as some of the support provided by senior management, as well as our internal and external auditors. In section 4, we outline the components of the financial statements, the various statements included, as well as the notes. Also, we've noted some of the significant figures from the financial statements, including overall revenues for the year of $945.9 million and expenditures of $934.8 million. The full statements and notes are attached as Appendix A to the report, and I also draw your attention to the recommendation included as item number 8 in the report. Happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions about the audited report? Leslie, Scott, anybody? Any questions at all? I might just have one, and it's more of not necessarily with the statement, but it's along the lines of
Donna, I believe Leslie had a question.
Here, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Leslie. Go ahead and do your question, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Melissa, for the overview of the financial statements. Just one question, if you might comment on, from a trending perspective, the other revenues and fees versus the plan being quite a bit off in the detail of the revenues. I wonder if there's any commentary on that.
Certainly, and through you, Chair. Being still kind of coming out of COVID, a little bit difficult to budget certain items. We're also seeing a lot of changes in the marketplace, supplies, land values, all kinds of things. The primary increase over budget in the other fees and revenue line was actually additional collection of EDC, or education development charges. So significantly higher than anticipated. So about 11, 12 million higher than anticipated. Again, difficult to call how many permits developers are going to take out. And then also we didn't budget any community use revenue, again, not knowing whether or not the schools would be opened back up to that avenue. Fortunately, they were, and so we did see some income from community use that wasn't budgeted for.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Leslie, thank you. Actually, somewhat touched on one of the questions I had was around the EDCs, and just further comment as well as I'm glad that we had someone unexpected, but I'm just a little concerned again on future, some of the changes in that the government is making in the Planning Act. I'm a little concerned about our sort of the future of our EDCs, considering it is a cost pressure point. Yeah. Any thoughts on that as far as trends for that?
So we've heard a little bit. So far, what we've heard relates directly to the development charges. So they're saying right now, nothing touching education development charges. However, until things are law. What's also concerning is the pace. So the pace at which they want to see this development, trying to get schools built in time to house those students, that enrollment, that could certainly be an issue, and land values remain very high right now. So to buy the sites then to accommodate those students as well is going to obviously be an EDC pressure, and there's still been no talk by the ministry of adjusting the legislation surrounding EDCs. We certainly keep them in the loop. Every time we go to buy a site, there's a process we go through with them, and they certainly will see in our financial statements again the EDC deficit. For now, we wait and watch, I think. I'm not sure if Associate Director Wright has anything else to add to that.
Thanks very much, Melissa. Timely, we just had an internal conversation today about what Bill 23 is looking like and the ramification of some of the changes. I think, Melissa, generally you've hit it. They've not specifically said they intend on addressing education development charges, which is in some ways good, in other ways not good, because we know we've got a big gap to make up. So it'd be nice if they took a proactive approach to addressing them. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the implications are. I think overall there appears to be a significant amount of downloading to municipalities for managing infrastructure revenue with the change in ability to collect development charges. But from our standpoint so far, status quo.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, there's a recommendation basically on page 7 of the report. If I could have somebody move the recommendation that the Audit Committee recommend to the Board of Trustees that the 2021 and 2020 to 2022 audited financial statement of the Durham District School Board, including transfers to and from internally restricted fund, be approved as presented. Scott? All those in favor? The audited statement is approved. Thank you. I don't believe there's any other business. So the next meeting will be March 22nd, 2023. This concludes the end of the public session of the audit committee. So a motion to adjourn. Scott, thank you, and good evening.